Yo, what's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Coffee Pod. My name is Shisha Zed.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
In this video, we're going to be watching Jasmine Brown. Jasmine Brown is a host of The Ladies Room on Sirius XM. She's having a conversation with Shan, Boody, and she explains what it means for a woman to be submissive to her man. She does everything. Let's get it.
What does a submissive woman do for her man?
Everything.
What does that mean?
You know, like packing his bag, unpacking his bag, just making sure all the things that he wants. And like, I pretty much read his mind. So it's like, if I know you and I study you, like I know how you are in the morning, I know how you are about midday, I know when you're in this mood, what you need. Like before you can ever ask me for something, I'm already on it. I mean, he's spoiled. And you know, when I talk to my girlfriends about it, they're always like, oh, how are you guys doing? And I'm just like, girl, he's rotten. I'm like, he's spoiled rotten. Like, he's rotten. But I love that. Like, I want him to be that. I think my biggest flex is how I treat my man. And I've been known to love people back to health. And sometimes it's very draining, but my love is my superpower. And I used to hate that about myself. But now it's like, I'm just embracing it. Like, that's who I am. Like, if I love you, I can heal you.
It's your joy.
It is my joy. You know, I love to see him eating the meal that I cooked. I love seeing him sleep easy. Every night, like clockwork, I scratch this man's back to sleep. And I know when he's asleep because I can tell when his breathing changes. And some people might think that's psychotic, but that's like, I just know that's when I'm like, oh, I can stop now. But I find joy in being your rest, you know? So know what that means. And that works for us because he wants what I have to offer.
All right, guys, you heard it for yourself. Real quick, take some time to comment down below. I want to see people's initial reactions to what she had to say. What did you think about that? Because in a world and in a time where women are encouraged to be boss babes, where being submissive, where catering to your man is looked down on, we know a lot of women were probably rolling their eyes when they're listening to what she does to her man. Here we have a woman who says, listen, my biggest flex is my love and my love for my man. That's not something that you hear often. As always, you guys know how we do it. We're going to check out some of these comments. This first commenter says, I haven't met a woman yet that would not be submissive to a man that's able to lead, make decisions, include his woman on decisions, makes her feel safe, wanted, respected, and loved. Shout out to the kings out here with their beautiful queens. Now, that one was the top comment, coming in at 7,000 likes. So a lot of women agree with this chick, and I'm not surprised, guys. This is what we call conditional femininity. And here's my problem with this statement. Though it sounds good, it's a cop-out that a lot of women love to use. If he's a leader, I will submit. If I run into the right man, I will be submissive. And the problem with that is those men who are able to lead, men who embrace their masculine energy, men who are good leaders, the men you want, they don't settle for conditional femininity. They don't settle for a woman who is otherwise difficult and non-cooperative unless if she runs into the right man. What is your default? Are you difficult by nature? That's the question. And men do not take women seriously for serious relationships. Might take you to Pound Town, but they do not take women seriously for serious relationships whose submission and femininity comes with conditions. Now, I do want to acknowledge this. The ideal situation is a man who's embraced his masculinity and a woman who's embraced her femininity. She's able to properly submit to that man. I know those two energies, those two opposite energies are needed, but there's an element a lot of women always miss, and some men too. Have you done the inner work in yourself? Because the reality is a man's roles are static in most cases. If you're running into a man who is masculine, he doesn't stop becoming that once he meets other women. That is his default. A lot of women expect a man who is a good leader to be a good leader in other areas of his life. The type of men that women want, if they are a good leader, if they're a man who can be trusted, these are men who in other areas of their lives and in general are just that. But in modern day society, a woman's roles are negotiable, and that's the problem. And as great as this may sound, one day I'll run into the right man that will bring that out of me. That's not how it works in reality. You have to be that so you can attract those men. You're not waiting. Those men naturally gravitate to women who are feminine, submissive. This next commenter says, as long as that energy is reciprocated, then it's fine. Just the whole attitude, 5,000 likes. The whole attitude of as long as I'm getting mine too. That tells me everything I need to know. She didn't want to be a hater, but how close could you get to hating without actually like hating is this? Are you getting yours too, sis? Oh shit. Next commenter says, the key phrase in this is, this works for us. Now, again, another cop-out a lot of women use. Bad coffee right here.
Put that coffee down.
They like drinking this coffee right here because it's like everybody just do what works for them. It goes back to this world where there's no standards, no rules. The standard is man in charge, woman respects her man, and the two work together harmoniously. Not one is better than the other. They need each other. Women and men are better together than they are apart. Everyone is doing what they want. And what has that gotten us to? Go check the divorce stats. Go check the amount of people filing for divorce. Go check the stats. It's not looking so good right now with this type of mentality. This next commenter says, there's nothing wrong with this if it works for her. However, this is not what submission means. Laugh out loud. 2,000 likes. And someone responded and agreed with her, says, right, this is a service, not submission. Then a third woman responded and said, that's so true, right? Lost, all lost. And guys, just to let you guys know, I didn't go through and pick out which comments I want to read. I didn't go, these are like the comments in order. I just went in order here. Y'all think submissiveness is just doing whatever a man wants you to do and being a yes man. And that's not what it is at all. 1,000 likes. And then she adds, and I find it funny I don't peep a wedding ring. Look at all these haters. So this chick says submissiveness is not doing whatever a man tells you to do. Yes, it is. I mean, to an extent, it actually is. Does it mean following blindly? No, but it is doing what a man asks you to do. I bet you this woman right here, who probably is employed, knows exactly what submissive is when she's at work, listening to her boss. Submission is listening to your man and doing what he asks you to do. Why? Because you've trusted his leadership and guidance. They'll do anything but agree with the truth. Changing the definition of submission is what this chick is trying to do. It is. Yes, it is listening to your man. I know it hurts. Is he right? Really? Doesn't sound right. Yeah, because it hurts. But it is. Next commenter says, maybe not to the extent that it's draining you out. So she's saying, don't do it to the extent that it's draining you out. This female commenter says, this is exactly how it's supposed to be, both ways. The issue is when it becomes one-sided. It will be one-sided. What she does will be one-sided because her roles will be different from his roles. He doesn't want the same thing that... Now, let me say this. I'm assuming that she means that he needs to be doing those same things to her. Should he rub her back once in a while and all that? Yeah, I mean, once in a while. But even in the video, she said, he wants what I have to offer. And in most cases, when a man wants something, it's something that he cannot bring to the table himself. She has different roles from him. Now, if she meant he needs to be upholding his end of the bargain, then I agree, which will look a lot differently from what she will be doing. Next commenter says, yep, submit to your husband. Not every man can get that treatment. Again, another comment here that kind of points to that whole idea of conditional femininity and submission. Something interesting about women who are pleasant and know how to submit to their man. They're usually pleasant around most men. Most men like to be around those type of women. Most men want to protect those type of women. Doesn't mean that you go around treating every man like your husband, but I guarantee you most women look at this and they'll roll their eyes at most men, but they think when it comes to their man, they won't have the same attitude. No, you have to learn how to embrace that submission. This commenter says, I can definitely dig it. I hate this about myself too, but it does bring me joy to make mine happy. Next comment, I think we have two different definitions of submissive, but this works for them. Again, this whole idea of everyone can do what they want. She has her own definition. Everybody creates your own definition. That's where this chick is coming from. I guarantee you. Going back to the video and what Jazzy had to say, I agree with most of what she had to say. And I think something that's worth mentioning too, to remember when it comes to this topic of submission, a good leader knows how to also delegate. And sometimes submission may also look like, let's say you're a woman, you're with the man, and he can tell that like, hey, my woman's better at handling finances and money and stuff. He'll be able to delegate that. And to a lot of people, that may look like a masculine position, but she's still doing what he is asking her to do, following her leadership. The goal here is efficiency. While I do agree with what Jazzy said, I think most women will fit into that. There are a lot of gray areas too, where a woman will sometimes take on positions that may look like they're not necessarily natural to a woman who's embraced her femininity, etc. But you guys get the point here. I'm curious, what do you guys think of the video, the topic? Leave your comments down below. As always, I appreciate you guys for checking out another episode of the Coffee Pod, man. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.